I seek permission of the Honorable Chief Guest to commence the inaugural program. Thank you, my Lord. My Lord, Honorable Shri Justice Ravi Malimath, Chief Justice, High Court of Madhya Pradesh. My Lord, Honorable Shri Justice Anand Pathak, Judge, High Court of Madhya Pradesh and Member, Juvenile Justice Committee. Respected Mr. Rajesh Rajoura, Additional Chief Secretary, Home Department, Government of Madhya Pradesh. Ms. Margaret Gwada, Chief of Field Office, UNICEF, Madhya Pradesh. Honorable Judges of High Court of Madhya Pradesh. Respected Shri Devendra More, Chairman, State Commission for Protection of Child Rights. Shri Ram Kumar Chaube, Registrar General, High Court of Madhya Pradesh. Shri Krishnamurty Mishra, Director, Madhya Pradesh State Judicial Academy. Shri Rajiv Karmahe, Member Secretary, Madhya Pradesh State Legal Services Authority. Shri Alok Avasthi, Principal District and Session Judge, Jabalpur. Commissioner, Jabalpur Division, Inspector General and Deputy Inspector General of Police, Jabalpur, Officers of Registry, Madhya Pradesh State Judicial Academy, Madhya Pradesh State Legal Services Authority and District Court, Jabalpur, Superintendent of Police, Jabalpur, heads, officers and representatives of stakeholder departments of the Government of Madhya Pradesh, distinguished guests, esteemed participants, resource persons, representatives from print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen present in the auditorium and the audience attending virtually. I, S. Vinita, would like to extend a warm welcome to all the distinguished dignitaries adorning the dais, honorable guests, esteemed participants, and all the invitees to the State Consultation on Child Protection, VIMARSH, organized by the Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, in association with Madhya Pradesh State Judicial Academy, Madhya Pradesh State Legal Services Authority, and UNICEF. It is indeed a great honor and privilege to be a part of this consultation by holding the podium today, and fortunately, the weather has aligned with our wishes. To begin with, kindly permit me to quote Nobel Peace Laureate Nelson Mandela, who has aptly expressed the standards to assess the progress of a society. I quote, "There is no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way it treats its children." I unquote. Indeed, a wonderful thought to introspect and revisit our own progress as a responsible citizen of the largest democracy in the world. Moving ahead, as known to all, we Indians are acknowledged for our hospitality across the globe. Atithi Devo Bhava is a part of code of conduct in our culture, where guest is equivalent to God. Commencing with felicitation of our chief guest, I would now request Shri Ram Kumar Chaube, Registrar General, to kindly welcome and felicitate my Lord Honorable Chief Justice by presenting His Lordship a sapling as a mark of our respect and best wishes. Thank you, sir. Moving further, I would now request Shri Krishnamurty Mishra, Director, Madhya Pradesh State Judicial Academy, to kindly welcome and felicitate Honorable Shri Justice Anand Pathak, Judge, High Court of Madhya Pradesh and Member, Juvenile Justice Committee, by presenting a sapling. Thank you, sir. May I also request Shri Rajiv Karmahe, Member Secretary, Madhya Pradesh State Legal Services Authority, to kindly welcome Shri Rajesh Rajoura, ACS Home Department, by presenting a sapling. Thank you, sir. Moving further, I would request Shri Samresh Singh, Registrar IT and Secretary, Juvenile Justice Committee, to kindly welcome Ms. Margaret Gwada, Chief of Field Office, UNICEF, by presenting a sapling. Thank you, sir. The Juvenile Justice Committee of High Court of Madhya Pradesh was constituted in the year 2018. And since then, it is constantly and invariably striving to improve the entire juvenile justice system in the state. The Juvenile Justice Act envisions to achieve its objective through its various important limbs. Today, we have more than 100 participants coming from various stakeholder departments gathered to discuss so as to explore new ways to make juvenile law more effective with regards to child protection and give to the attention it deserves. To further ornate this gesture of felicitation with words and to throw some lights on the event, I now request Shri Samresh Singh, Registrar IT and Secretary Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, to kindly deliver welcome and introductory address.
Thank you, Vinita ma'am. With the permission of the chair, I would like to deliver the welcome and introductory address. Honorable Shri Justice Ravi Malimath, Honorable Chief Justice, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, Honorable Shri Justice Anand Pathak, Honorable Member, Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, Honorable Judges, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, Dr. Rajesh Rajora, Additional Chief Secretary, Home Department, Ms. Margaret Gwada, Chief of Field Office, UNICEF, Bhopal, Chairperson, Madhya Pradesh State Commission for Protection of Child Rights, Registrar General, and Officers of Registry, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, Director and Officers of Madhya Pradesh State Judicial Academy, Member Secretary, and Officers of Madhya Pradesh State Legal Services Authority, learned resource persons, representative of stakeholder departments of the Government of MP and UNICEF, distinguished guests, esteemed participants present here in the auditorium, and participants connected virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm morning to all present here. I am honored to stand before you as the Secretary, Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, and I extend a very warm welcome to the inaugural session of VIMARSH, state-level consultation on child protection, an imperative endeavor organized by the Juvenile Justice Committee under the aegis of Honorable High Court of Madhya Pradesh. First and foremost, I would like to express our gratitude to our Chief Justice, Chief Guest, Honorable Shri Justice Ravi Malimath, Chief Justice, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, who has graciously accepted our invitation to be with us. I would like to extend our warm welcome to Lordship. My Lord is known for humility, scholarship, and dynamism, and we are honored to have him grace us with his presence. Lordship's words of wisdom and encouragement will undoubtedly motivate and guide us. We are also honored with the presence in our midst, Honorable Shri Justice Anand Pathak, Member Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of Madhya Pradesh. We are thankful for His Lordship's consistent and vigorous mentorship and for gracing the occasion with the Lordship's presence. We also extend an affectionate welcome to all Honorable High Court Honorable Judges, High Court of Madhya Pradesh. Lordship's presence adds to the significance of this movement, and we are honored to have our support. We extend a cordial welcome to Lordships. We also extend our hearty welcome to Shri Rajesh Rajora, Additional Chief Secretary, Home Department. Furthermore, I would like to welcome Ms. Margaret Gwada, Chief of Field Office, UNICEF. Also, I would like to welcome respected Chairperson, Member State, Madhya Pradesh State Commission for the Protection of Child Rights. We are delighted to welcome Registrar General and Officers of Registry, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, Director and Officers of Madhya Pradesh State Judicial Academy, Member Secretary and Officers, Madhya Pradesh State Legal Services Authority. We also welcome Principal Secretary, Department of Social Justice and Disabled Welfare, Additional Director General of Police Training, Additional Director General of Police CID. We also welcome our Principal and District Judge, Jabalpur, Judicial Officers from Jabalpur District, and Officers from District Administration, Jabalpur. We extend a hearty welcome to learned resource persons and invitees from Juvenile Justice Stakeholder Departments, participants from District Judiciary, Department of Women and Child Development, Police Department, Health Department, Public Prosecution, UNICEF, Civil Society Organization, and all other participants connected virtually. As we convene to address this pressing matter, it is important to acknowledge the gravity of our responsibility. The rights, welfare, and future of our children are at the heart of our discussions. The foundation of a just and compassionate society rests upon how we nurture and guide those who find themselves on the wrong side of the law at a tender age. The Honorable Supreme Court of India has drawn our attention to these issues, laying down a roadmap for us to deliberate upon. The primary focus of our two-day consultation is to engage in a comprehensive dialogue on various facets related to children in conflict with law, guided by the principles set forth by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Our deliberations will be divided into 6 meaningful technical sessions, which will encompass a wide range of issues, including prevention, diversion, rehabilitation of children in conflict with law, providing alternatives to institutionalization of CICLs, ensuring the right to a fair trial, child-friendly procedures at boards and courts, and even the sensitive questions of the minimum age of criminal responsibility. These sections will form the cornerstone of how we approach the rehabilitation and reintegration of these young individuals into society while ensuring that their rights are upheld. As we collectively explore these critical dimensions of our aim is not only to analyze the current state of affairs, but also to construct a roadmap for the state of Madhya Pradesh, a roadmap that will guide our efforts toward a more compassionate and effective approach to handling children in conflict with the law, steering them away from a path of despair and towards a future filled with hope and opportunity. I urge each one of you to bring your insights, experiences, and expertise to the table. Let us engage in constructive debate, share best practices, and envision innovative solutions that will shape the way forward. Our collective efforts will not only impact the lives of these children, but will also influence the societal fabric of our state. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the participants who have joined us. Your dedication to this cause and your commitment to making a positive change are truly commendable. Let us work together to ensure that our justice system become a beacon of hope for every child in need of guidance and support. Thank you, and I eagerly anticipate the rich and enlightening discussions that lie ahead.
Thank you, sir. UNICEF, a United Nations agency working for the betterment of children worldwide, has been collaborating with High Court of Madhya Pradesh in its effort to build adequate structures and system for the effective implementation of Juvenile Justice Act. It has worked tremendously and commanded reputation for its role in the field of child welfare. To hear more, I would like to invite Ms. Margaret Gwada, Chief of Field Office UNICEF, to share her views on this consultation.
Thank you very much. Honorable Shri Justice Ravi, Malimath, Honorable Chief Justice of the High Court of Madhya Pradesh, Honorable Chief Justice Anand Pathak, Judge of the High Court of Madhya Pradesh, and a member of the Juvenile Justice Committee, Dr. Rajesh Rajora, who's the Additional Chief Secretary, Home Department, Honorable Judges of the High Court of Madhya Pradesh present here this morning, Registrar General of the High Court of Madhya Pradesh, all dignitaries present this morning, the Secretary of the Juvenile Justice Committee, learned resource persons present here this morning, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, namaste. It's a pleasure to be here. This is the second Juvenile Justice consultation meeting, state consultation meeting that I am participating in, and I remain completely indebted to the excellent work that the Juvenile Justice Committee is doing under your leadership. Thank you very much for putting the agenda of children in the core of the business of the High Court, in the core of the business of the judicial system, and in the core of the heart of the work that we do across the state, across the different programs, ensuring that the well-being of children remains a priority. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by congratulating all of us for being present this morning, here present and online, I understand. It's indeed a pleasure for us to consult again and to ensure that we address all the critical issues facing the most vulnerable and deprived cohort of children. The focus that has been put in place this year, I think, has been mentioned by the Secretary of the JJC. He's just mentioned that the focus this year for the annual consultation is on children in conflict with the law, encompassing prevention, rehabilitation, restorative justice, diversion, and non-custodial measures. This is really timely for us in Madhya Pradesh because, as revealed by data from the National Crimes Record Bureau, we still record very high numbers of juveniles committing offenses and being apprehended therein. It is therefore timely that we sit together in the next 2 days to review how we as a system, how we as a society are enabling these children to reintegrate back into the mainstream to be credible citizens. Every child has a right to a fresh start. This is one of the fundamental principles enshrined in the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. The purpose of the child justice system is to use justice mechanisms as a corrective and a reformative process that helps children as young people to reintegrate in the society. This is all the more critical as it is established by evidence from many global studies that children who commit crimes are not often sufficiently mentally or emotionally developed to understand the gravity of their wrongdoing and the consequences that follow therein. There are also very many several factors that contribute to or push them into a world of crime, and as a society, we have the responsibility to wean these children back or away from the path of digression. An effective child justice system must therefore guarantee the respect for and effective implementation of all children's rights at the highest level possible. In consideration of the fundamental principles of juvenile justice as articulated in the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child and the Government of India's Juvenile Justice Act of 2015. It must give due consideration to the child's level of maturity and understanding and the circumstances of the case. Now, one of UNICEF's global advocacy brief clearly summarizes this, that child justice is justice that is accessible, age-appropriate, speedy, diligent, adapted to, and focused on the needs and the rights of the children. As we come together in the next 2 days, we are looking at a few critical areas for our consideration. First of all is the focus on prevention, and it is critical that we have strong and effective programs that ensure that families are enabled and supported to look after their children so that the children evolve into productive and contributing citizens of our world, and particularly in Madhya Pradesh and in India. Studies also establish that children drawn to the world of crime come largely from families facing multiple vulnerable disparities. The most important aspect of child protection is that every child lives in families with their parents, in their kith, in their communities where appropriate, and in this regard, therefore, we need to identify every family that is potentially at risk and support these families with family strengthening programs. Effective implementation of some of the social protection systems, including the Mission Vatsalya, among others. These are schemes that can strengthen and equip families with enabling factors for supporting family living. Indeed, our moderator this morning has just highlighted Nelson Mandela's quote that the true character of a society is revealed in how it treats its children. The state now has a robust state action plan that was endorsed in the last committee meeting that was held in Bhopal for the period of 2023 to 27, which focuses on both preventive and rehabilitation mechanisms. And I urge all of us here to take up the implementation of the action plan, not just at the state level, go down to the districts and right down to the village and community level with meaningful engagement of the stakeholders, especially the participation and engagement of children. If we can ensure effective preventive strategies and mechanisms, we would be able to drastically lighten the challenge of children coming into conflict with the law. Second, a robust rehabilitation and restorative system. We already have in place structures like the special juvenile police units, the judiciary, the court systems. All these are in place. Specialized and effective programs and mechanisms for probation, counseling, or supervision should therefore be strengthened, and so that we can resource and equip effective mechanism for ensuring that children coming into conflict with the law have mechanisms to support them. And finally, capacity strengthening. In order to achieve quality and sustained services for the child, well-equipped workforce is required. This includes specialized capacitated functionaries who will offer appropriate professional and quality assistance to the child. And it is therefore imperative that we fill the vacancies that are there in all the areas, social workforce, the law enforcement and judiciary, all these areas, so that children can be assisted and that we can be able to roll out the plans that we have in place for skill building and capacity development. In the last JJC meeting, Honorable Chief Guest, an online course for child protection workforce was launched, and we hope that all of us will soon have access to this so that we are able to uptake the course and promote professional services amongst the children that we work with. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that this consultation brings out ideas for strengthening robust plans and programs for ensuring justice for all our children in Madhya Pradesh and in India. UNICEF remains committed to provide its technical support and expertise and knowledge to support such innovations and practices. I wish you all the very best in the next 2 days of the deliberations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. It has been rightly said that the development of a state can be judged by the efforts it puts in the welfare of the children. In recognition to this, Constitution of India puts the children at the heart of its all welfare scheme and mandates the state to discharge their constitutional duties. Today we have amongst us Shri Rajesh Rajora, Additional Chief Secretary, Home Department, Government of Madhya Pradesh. I cordially invite him to kindly deliver the address.
Respected Honorable Shri Chief Justice Ravi Malimath Sir, Honorable Chief Justice High Court of Madhya Pradesh, Honorable Shri Justice Anand Pathak Sir, Honorable Ms. Margaret Gwada, Chief of Field Office, UNICEF of Madhya Pradesh, Honorable Judges of High Court of Madhya Pradesh, respected dignitaries and dear friends. At the outset, I am honored to be part of this state consultations on child protection, VIMARSH. The issue of child protection has become immensely important, urgent, in last couple of years in the country and more so in our state. If we look at the NCRB and SCRB data, we realize that Madhya Pradesh is standing at the top of all the states of the country when it comes to crime committed by the juveniles. In 2019, 5,522 cases were registered in which the crime was committed by the juvenile. In 2020, it came down to 4,819, but in 2021, it increased at an alarming pace of 18% and came to 5,684. These are very alarming figures that child in conflict with law, the number of children in Madhya Pradesh is at a higher rate. The crime rate by juveniles, if you look at the crime rate committed by juveniles, the crime committed per 1 lakh population of children, it comes to 19.8 in Madhya Pradesh, which is 3 times more than the national average of 7. These are the figures which we feel we should be aware of when we are planning strategies for children in conflict with law. If you look at the figures from 1st January 2019 to 30th June 2023, the number of children in conflict with law has been 51,543. It is a huge number. And unfortunately, 49% of the crimes are serious or heinous crimes. 97% of children in conflict with law are boys, male. In last 4.5 years, 465 murders and 839 rapes were committed by individuals who are less than 18 years of age. Similarly, there has been also a rise, if you see the figures, crime committed against children. We are talking about protection of child, then it is also a very important figure to look into. And in Madhya Pradesh, in 2020, the figure was 17,008. In 2021, it became 19,173, and 2022 it became 20,415. So there is a rising trend as far as crime committed against children is concerned. Similarly, number of apprehended juvenile is almost to the tune of 22,348 in last 4 years. So we understand the number of crimes and the apprehended numbers of juveniles in the state. And it becomes very pertinent and important that a policy, a strategy and tactics needs to be put in place to ensure that children in conflict with law are properly taken care of. With the advent of new technologies like mobile, internet, social media, OTT, and its percolation, the fragile social fabric is under duress, and innocence of children is vanishing at a very fast pace. Unemployment, underemployment, drugs, poverty, etc. are few of many reasons because of which juveniles are committing crimes. Juvenile Justice Committee of Hon'ble High Court of Madhya Pradesh has been engaged relentlessly and in a focused way to ensure child protection envisaged in our constitution and juvenile laws. Under the guidance and supervision of JJC, several steps have been taken by different departments of the state government. In last 3 years as Home Secretary of the state, I had the privilege to attend more than half a dozen of JJC committee review meetings. These meetings have been instrumental in inculcating the focus and drive needed to work to address rising numbers of CICL. Child-friendly spaces have been created now in police stations. We have also included child-friendly space for all the new constructions which are going to be taking place in new police stations and police chowkis. Continuous training and refresher courses for CWPOs and special juvenile police units have been undertaken in the state. Juvenile laws and special provision in regard to CICL is now included in all police trainings throughout the state. We have also issued terms of reference for CWPOs and SGPUs in the state. SOP has also been issued for missing children, how to investigate the cases of missing children. Directions have also been issued to all the police officers that while they are engaging with CICL, they should not be in their police uniform. We have also installed 14,470 CCTV cameras in 1,680 police stations and police chowkis throughout the state. Strengthening of forensic science labs is also undertaken. 2 new RFSLs are being opened in Ratlam and Rewa, so that DNA reports come in time. PHQ has issued, police headquarters has issued directions for not transferring CWPOs and SGPUs for 3 years. Special prosecutors are being appointed for the juvenile courts. State police has launched an innovative Mehu Abhimanyu campaign, which is basically focused towards localities of weaker and poor segment of society and mostly focused on juveniles. Numerous focus steps have been taken by different departments of the state, whether movement on child development, urban development, rural development department, social justice, labor department, school education. All these departments under the guidance of the JJC have taken many steps to ensure protection of children and also taking care of CICL. In last JJC review meeting which was held, it was the holistic action plan for 2023 to 2027 was finalized, and it will definitely pave a new horizon for the state as far as these issues are concerned. We still have a long way to go in this direction, and there are still numerous challenges in fulfilling mandates of our constitution and juvenile laws. The state consultation on child protection, VIMARSH, organized under the auspices of JJC of Honorable High Court, will pave the way for resolve to work towards achieving our goals in this direction. I am obliged and humbled by this opportunity provided by Juvenile Justice Committee of Honorable High Court to be part of this state consultation. Thank you, sirs. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. The consultation is named VIMARSH, which is suggestive of spreading awareness and evolving a better mechanism to implement the objectives of Juvenile Justice Act in its true spirit, which is not possible without the collective efforts of all stakeholders with a holistic approach. I now request Honorable Shri Justice Anand Pathak, Judge High Court of Madhya Pradesh, to kindly bless and guide the gathering with His Lordship's motivational address.
आदरणीय माननीय मुख्य न्यायाधिपति महोदय, माननीय न्यायमूर्ति रवि मलिमथ साहब, मंच पे बैठे एडिशनल चीफ सेक्रेटरी होम डिपार्टमेंट राजेश राजोरा साहब, चीफ फील्ड ऑफिस यूनिसेफ मैडम मार्गरेट ग्वाडा, जुवेनाइल जस्टिस कमेटी के अन्य मेंबर जस्टिस GS अहलूवालिया, अन्य सिस्टर एंड ब्रदर्स, विमर्श में पधारे हुए अन्य अलग अलग विभागों के ऑफिसर्स, पार्टिसिपेंट्स, धर्मशास्त्र नेशनल लॉ यूनिवर्सिटी के एक्टिंग वाइस चांसलर हार्दी साहब, आज हम जिस विमर्श के लिए इकट्ठा हुए हैं, जिस कार्यक्रम के लिए इकट्ठा हुए हैं, उसका मूल विषय है चाइल्ड इन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट विथ लॉ। इस जुवेनाइल जस्टिस कमेटी के अनेक कार्यक्रमों को मोटिवेट करने के लिए, प्रेरणा देने के लिए, अपने डायनामिक पर्सनालिटी का उपयोग करते हुए जो हमारे चीफ जस्टिस साहब ने जो हमें मोटिवेट किया है, सबसे पहले मैं उनका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। हमारे जुवेनाइल जस्टिस कमेटी के जो चेयरमैन हैं जस्टिस सुजय पॉल, जो आज प्रशासनिक कारणों से नहीं है, भोपाल में है, उनका गाइडेंस का मैं आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। और मैं अपने साथी जुवेनाइल जस्टिस कमेटी के जस्टिस अहलूवालिया और हमारे दूसरे अन्य सिस्टर और ब्रदर्स जिन्होंने इस कार्यक्रम को सफल बनाने के लिए कार्य किया, सुझाव दिए, हमारे रजिस्ट्री के ऑफिसर्स, जेजे कमेटी के सेक्रेटरी समरेश सिंह, इन सभी का मैं धन्यवाद करता हूं इस व्यवस्था को जोड़ने के लिए, जिसमें हम चाइल्ड के बारे में, जो चिल्ड्रन इन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट विथ लॉ है, उसके बारे में हम बात करने के लिए इकट्ठा हुए हैं। आशा है ये विमर्श आगे सार्थक संवाद में तब्दील होगा और सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स आपस में एक दूसरे के बारे में, एक दूसरे की समस्याओं के बारे में और एक दूसरे के सुझावों के बारे में एक कॉमन प्लेटफॉर्म शेयर करेंगे। चिल्ड्रन एक्ट 1960 में जुवेनाइल को डिलिंक्वेंट चाइल्ड कहा गया, जिसने रूल ब्रेक करा है, ऐसा चाइल्ड। वहां से उसकी यात्रा प्रारंभ होती है। फिर जेजे एक्ट 1986 में उन्होंने उसको डिलिंक्वेंट जुवेनाइल कहा, चाइल्ड से वो अब जुवेनाइल हुआ। फिर जेजे एक्ट 2015 में उसको चिल्ड्रन 2000 में उसको जुवेनाइल इन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट विथ लॉ कहा और अब उसको हॉलिस्टिक, थोड़ा व्यापक एक रूप दिया जब जेजे एक्ट 2015 में उसको चिल्ड्रन इन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट विथ लॉ कहा। तो ये डिलिंक्वेंट है, वहां से ये चाइल्ड बना, चिल्ड्रन में आया। ये एक जो यात्रा है उसकी, वो चेंज इन पर्सपेक्टिव की यात्रा है, दृष्टिकोण में परिवर्तन की यात्रा है। और जैसे जैसे दृष्टिकोण में परिवर्तन होता गया, वैसे वैसे कानून में सुधार होते गए और वैसे वैसे उसके उपाय सोचे गए और कानून में संवेदना का पुट आया। लीगल सिस्टम में इमोशंस या सेंसिटिविटी का एक पुट आया। एक फ्रेंच राइटर में हमेशा उनको कोट करता हूं, वोवेन ऑर्ग्यूज, उन्होंने एक बहुत अच्छी बात कही है, इमोशंस हैव टॉट मैनकाइंड टू रीजन, मीन्स थ्रू इमोशंस पर्सन कैन रैशनलाइज, कैन लॉजिक आउट। बड़ी बड़ी बात है ये। हमारे एडजुडिकेशन के सेंस में ये सेंसिटिविटी से हम इसको रिप्लेस कर सकते हैं कि सेंसिटिविटी हैज टॉट एडजुडिकेटर टू एडजुडिकेट, या सेंसिटिविटी हैज टॉट पुलिस ऑफिसर टू इन्वेस्टिगेट, या सेंसिटिविटी हैज टॉट वुमेन एंड चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट डिपार्टमेंट टू डील विथ अ चाइल्ड। अगर हम इस डिलिंक्वेंट से चिल्ड्रन पे आए हैं तो ये जो परसेप्शन की यात्रा हुई है इसको हमको एक नेक्स्ट लेवल पे ले जाना है। ये विमर्श का उद्देश्य है। केवल हम यहाँ जो मैकेनिज्म है उसको ही डिस्कस नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम आने वाले समय के हिसाब से जो बच्चों के जो चैलेंजेस हैं उनको देखते हुए हम एड्रेस करना चाह रहे हैं। उसमें हमको ये भी देखना है कि जो हम परंपरागत तरीकों से बच्चों को देखते रहे हैं वो हम कहां तक सही फील करते हैं और उसमें क्या सुधार की जरूरत है। वी हैव टू परसीव चाइल्ड एज ए लाइफ रादर देन ए फाइल टू प्रोसेस। जब हमारा ये जो फाइल को हम अगर लाइफ में तब्दील करेंगे, एक ऐसी लाइफ जिसको हमको डील करना है, बजाय इसके कि एक फाइल है जिसको प्रोसेस करना है। आया, गिरफ्तार हुआ, या आया उसको रिमांड होम भेजा, वहां से उसको बोर्ड चला गया, बोर्ड से उसका बाहर आ गया, थोड़े दिन बाद फिर परेशान हुआ, डी इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइजेशन उसका सक्सेसफुल नहीं हुआ, शायद वो एक गलत रास्ते पे चला। अगर हमने उसको लाइफ समझा तो हो सकता है कि वो वहां उस जगह, जैसे मार्गरेट मैडम ने कहा कि एवरी चाइल्ड हैज ए राइट सेकंड टू गेट सेकंड चांस। गांधी जी का एक प्रसंग मुझे याद आता है जो उन्होंने सत्य के साथ मेरे प्रयोग, जो उनकी बुक है माय एक्सपेरिमेंट्स विद ट्रुथ, उसमें लिखा है कि कैसे एक बार उन्होंने अपने दोस्तों के कहने से या उस प्रभाव से उन्होंने अपने पिताजी का सोने का कड़ा चुराया था। जब बाद में मालूम पड़ा पिताजी को, पिताजी थोड़ा दुखी हुए। उस बात से गांधी जी ने इतना प्रायश्चित महसूस किया या थोड़ा सा उनको आत्मग्लानि हुई कि वो उनका प्रायश्चित था कि एक मोहनदास करमचंद गांधी महात्मा गांधी बना। तो पर्पस ये है कि एक अगर बच्चे को दूसरा मौका मिलता है तो वो उस मौके को शायद उसके साथ पास भी संभावना है कि वो भी एक महात्मा बन सके। शांति, ऐसा कहा जाता है, दो प्रकार की होती है। एक होती है शम मूलक शांति, जिसमें शमन करा हुआ है, हमने दबाया हुआ है, प्रेशर कुकर सिचुएशन, अंदर कुंठाएं हैं, अंदर गुस्सा है, अंदर ईर्ष्या है, अंदर चिड़चिड़ाहट है, ऊपर से नॉर्मल है, सब ठीक लग रहा है। ये शम मूलक, शमन करा हुआ है, प्रेस करा हुआ है। पीस एक्वायर्ड थ्रू प्रेसिंग योर इमोशंस। और एक होती है निसर्ग मूलक शांति। निसर्ग मतलब प्रकृति, प्रकृति मूलक, प्रकृति ही अपने आप में शांत है। तो अगर हम शांत प्रकृति में आ गए तो अपने आप शांत हो गए। हमको बच्चों को चाहे हम वो इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज रखें फॉर द टाइम बिंग, या हम उनको डी इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज करें। इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइजेशन का मतलब है कि व्यवस्था में उनको, ये जो बोर्ड के सामने जा रहे हैं, वहाँ रिमांड होम में रह रहे हैं या फिट होम में रह रहे हैं, वहाँ वो इंस्टीट्यूशंस में है और डी इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइजेशन मतलब हम घर पे रखा बच्चों को, उसके प्राकृतिक वातावरण में रखा है। वो प्राकृतिक वातावरण भी कैसा हो, आसपास के समाज के लोगों का वातावरण कैसा हो, माहौल कैसा रहे, ये भी सुनिश्चित करने की जिम्मेदारी समाज की है और संस्थाओं की है। इस पे भी एक विमर्श होगा, क्योंकि रिफॉर्मेशन, रिहैबिलिटेशन, रेस्टोरेटिव जस्टिस के ऊपर भी एक सेशन है, डी इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइजेशन, डाइवर्जन पे भी एक सेशन है। इस पे भी हमें सोचना है कि हम इसको किस तरह से आगे ले जाएं। एक विचार पिछली भोपाल में जो मीटिंग हुई थी स्टेट लेवल की, तो उसमें एक विचार रखा गया था, कमेटी का विचार था कि एक सोशल ऑडिट का कॉन्सेप्ट रखा जाए कि समाज के शिक्षित वर्ग या समाज का थोड़ा साधन संपन्न वर्ग या समाज का वो वर्ग जो संवेदनशील है, वो वर्ग भी अपनी जिम्मेदारी ऐसे बच्चों के या ऐसी संस्थाओं के प्रति ले। किस तरह की व्यवस्था करी जाए कि समाज के जैसे डॉक्टर्स हैं, लॉयर्स हैं, प्रोफेसर्स हैं, ऑफिसर्स हैं, जजेस हैं, ये किस तरह से व्यवस्था करी जाए कि ये समय समय पे संस्थाओं में जाकर या समय समय पे उन वल्नरेबल क्षेत्रों में या हॉट स्पॉट जिसको कहते हैं, उन क्षेत्रों में जाके कुछ अपनी ऐसी सेवाएं दें जिससे शायद बच्चे एजुकेशन तो मिले ही, उनको मोटिवेशन भी मिले। क्योंकि समाज में एजुकेशन तो मिल रहा है लेकिन मोटिवेशन की कमी है, उनको कुछ रोल मॉडल्स की कमी है, उनको सही गाइडेंस की कमी है। तो ऐसा गाइडेंस या मोटिवेशन ये समाज का शिक्षित वर्ग या संसाधन रखने वाला वर्ग किस तरह से सोचे, किस तरह से कार्य करे, इसके ऊपर भी सोचना है। ये सोशल ऑडिट है, इसको हम थोड़े व्यापक परिप्रेक्ष्य में भी कर सकते हैं। जब अब अगर हम साल में, महीने में, 2 महीने में एक बार किसी सरकारी स्कूल में या हॉट स्पॉट वाले क्षेत्र में, वहाँ के स्कूलों में बच्चों को जाके कुछ एजुकेशन दें, कुछ एजुकेट करें, कुछ छोटे टॉपिक्स पे डिस्कस करें, शायद उनको लगेगा कि समाज हमारी तरफ देख रहा है। समाज में हम चिल्ड्रन ऑफ द लेसर गॉड नहीं है, हम को भी समाज उतनी ही मान्यता दे रहा है जितनी कि समाज में अन्य वर्ग या अन्य बच्चों को मिल रहा है। गांधी जी का ट्रस्टीशिप का सिद्धांत था, वो ये कहते थे कि जो हमारी संपत्ति है उसके हम ओनर नहीं है, हम ट्रस्टीज हैं। तो वैसे ही जो हमने एक्विजिशन ऑफ स्टेटस या एक्विजिशन ऑफ नॉलेज लिया है, वो भी एक तरह से हमारा ट्रस्ट है जो हमारे को रिपोज करा गया है और हमको शायद कुछ अनुपात में वापस देना है। उस पे भी विमर्श होगा कि इस सोशल ऑडिट के रिफॉर्मेशन के साथ कैसे जोड़ा जाए। और हमको, मैं अंत में अपनी बात इसी एक शेर से कहना चाहूंगा, बच्चे बहुत समझदार होते हैं, बच्चे बहुत होशियार होते हैं, इनोसेंट तो हो सकते हैं लेकिन होशियार और समझदार भी होते हैं। तो केवल हम उनको ये माने कि हम जैसा ट्यूटर करेंगे वैसा ही वो करेंगे, नहीं, हमको थोड़ा सा उसमें अपने व्यवहार से, अपनी संवेदनाओं से उनका विश्वास जीतना पड़ेगा। उनकी जो अक्ल है या उनकी जो विजडम है उसको हमको चैनलाइज करना पड़ेगा। मैं अंत में हमारे माननीय मुख्य न्यायाधिपति महोदय मलिमथ साहब का आभार व्यक्त करता हूं एक इतने अच्छे प्रोग्राम को कंसीव करने के लिए। पॉल साहब का आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि उन्होंने ये बैटन मुझे सौंपा, सारा कुछ वो करके गए थे यहाँ से। आज आशा है इस विमर्श में आप सब लोग सार्थक संवाद करेंगे। और शेख सादी का एक शेर मुझे याद आता है, वो ये कहते हैं, बुजुर्गी ब अकलस्त ना के बसाल, बुजुर्गी ब अकलस्त ना के बसाल, तवनगिरी ब दिलस्त ना के बमाल। अर्थात बुजुर्गी अक्ल से आती है, ना कि उम्र से, और अमीरी दिल से आती है, ना कि अमीरी दिल से आती है, ना कि माल से। तो हम उन बच्चों को जुवेनाइल हैं, लेकिन अकल में बुजुर्ग भी समझें और उस हिसाब से उनको डील करें, अपनी संवेदनाओं के माध्यम से जो वो समझ रहे हैं, अपने क्रियाकलापों से, और उनके लिए समाज को और अन्य संस्थाओं को उचित सामंजस्य और सहयोग के साथ जोड़ के। आशा है ये विमर्श बहुत सफलता के नए सोपान तय करेगा और इसमें से कुछ नई चीजें निकल के आएंगी जो आने वाले समय में बच्चों के लिए बड़ी कारगर और उपयोगी होंगी। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
Thank you, Your Lordship, for enlightening us. These guiding words will indeed help us all to achieve the vision of this consultation. Moving on, judiciary is considered to be the sole repository to safeguard the interest of underprivileged, weaker section of society, and of course, children. Here, the role of judiciary as parents patriae assumes importance. We are honored to have amidst us Honorable Shri Justice Ravi Malimath, Chief Justice High Court of Madhya Pradesh. I would request His Lordship to kindly deliver the keynote address and bestow as well as guide the gathering regarding various intricacies of the consultation.
Honorable Justices Anand Patak and Honorable Justice Ahluwalia, Judges of the High Court of Madhya Pradesh and members of the Juvenile Justice Committee, my esteemed sister and brother judges, Shri Rajesh Rajora, Additional Chief Secretary, Department of Home Government of Madhya Pradesh, Ms. Margaret Gwada, Chief of Field Office, UNICEF, Bhopal, Shri Ram Kumar Chaube, Registrar General and other officers of the Registry, Shri Krishnamurty Mishra, Director, Madhya Pradesh State Judicial Academy and other officers of the Academy, the Member Secretary, Madhya Pradesh State Legal Service Authority and other officers, Shri Alok Awasthi, Principal District and Session Judge, Jabalpur, and other judges, Shri Umesh Joga, Inspector General of Police, Jabalpur, Shri RRS Parihar, Deputy Inspector General of Police, Jabalpur, Shri T.K. Vidyarthi, SP, Jabalpur, Shri Hadley, Acting Vice Chancellor of DNLU, all the participants, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to every one of you. This state consultation is being held on the topic of child protection. The ambit of child protection is quite large. Child protection is generally understood to include the physical and psychological well-being of the child. A singular point of concern when it comes to children in conflict with law and children in need of care and protection is the lack of a sustained emphasis on the psychological well-being of the child. Rehabilitation and effectively achieving the objects under the Juvenile Justice Act and allied laws would not be possible without first ensuring the mental well-being of the child. How can one claim to have successfully rehabilitated the child if the child does not have good mental health? It is important to keep in mind that it is the mental well-being which often dictates the physical well-being. Poor mental health would eventually lead to a decline in physical health. This notwithstanding, we often find that greater emphasis is provided to the physical well-being of the child while sidelining the mental well-being. Children who fall under the ambit of the Juvenile Justice Act are particularly in need of such care. Counselors and therapists who are skilled in this field can certainly bring about a change in the lives of these children. In today's age, adults reach out to counselors and therapists as well, and there are many testimonials of lives having improved for the better due to this. children should not be deprived of the opportunity to improve their mental health, subject to experienced experts being deputed for this purpose. Courts, when dealing with children, exercise a high degree of sensitivity in order to secure the well-being of the child. With respect to children in conflict with law and children in need of care and protection, special care is accorded to ensure compliance with the provisions of the Juvenile Justice Act and other allied laws. Courts can also mandate that steps be taken to guarantee the physical and psychological well-being of a child. However, the fruitful implementation of this lies with the state and with non-state entities which assist the state. We have representatives from the government and the UNICEF here. The onus is on them to ensure that the mental well-being of the child is given equal importance, if not more. There may be many challenges that can be encountered in this process. There may be a dearth of trained counselors and therapists who can effectively assist the child. Another conundrum may also lie with assessing mental well-being. Physical well-being is easier to assess with the help of doctors. Assessing mental health well-being may be slightly challenging. In addition to this, the primary obstacle that one may encounter would be that of unawareness about the importance of mental health and the consequent stigma that follows such unawareness. Most of us were present at Manthan last year on the implementation of POCSO. I had touched upon the importance of educating people on such crimes in order to destigmatize them. The stigma around mental health is also well known, and the solution is again education. We need to create awareness and normalize reaching out to take care of one's mental well-being. To bring about a change in society is extremely difficult and time-consuming. It is also prone to be met with resistance from various factions of society. However, we need to begin somewhere. If not, our deliberations will be limited to the four corners of this hall. Therefore, it is imperative to introduce a practical measure to improve the mental well-being of children in conflict with law and children in need of care and protection in order to truly achieve the aims and objects of the Juvenile Justice Act. In fact, mental health and therapy should also be easily accessible to all children. There is a lot of emphasis given to what must be done post the crime. Timely counseling and therapy may help prevent crimes at the first instance. In this regard, a suggestion would be to consider appointing counselors and therapists at schools and colleges. While it may not be feasible for the schools and colleges to provide full-time employment, skilled counselors and therapists can always be hired on a part-time or consultation basis to visit these educational institutions. Children may be hesitant to share at first, but it is bound to be normalized over time. For a child, discussing issues at school would be significantly less strenuous than discussing issues at a hospital where therapists are usually available. Parents may also be more amenable to therapists' visits for their children if conducted at the school. It may also provide an avenue for victims of crimes who are uncomfortable with sharing their thoughts at home to express themselves. This would ensure that they receive the help that they require. The requisite number of skilled therapists or counselors may not be available initially, and only a few schools may be able to avail of such assistance. With time and an increase in the availability of skilled therapists or counselors, one may be able to reach out and help a wider audience. Ensuring the robust mental well-being of a child will go a long way in securing their lives and their futures. It may also help prevent crimes by children and against children. I wish all the stakeholders and participants of VIMARSH, the State Consultation on Child Protection, the very best. I am certainly looking forward to hearing about the deliberations and the conclusion that this august body is going to reach. Thank you.
Thank you, my lord, for such a compassionate address. His lordship's presence is bound to encourage all of us to strongly confront the challenges in our pursuit of excellence. I may also take this opportunity to put on record that with the motivation, support, and guidance provided by my Lord Honorable Chief Justice, we are able to conduct this program with such grandeur. Arriving towards the end of inaugural program, it calls for an expression of heartfelt gratitude towards our honorable guests and this esteemed gathering. Therefore, I would now request Sri Krishnamurty Mishra, Director MPSJA, to kindly tender vote of thanks.
My Lord, Shri Justice Ravi Malimath, Honorable Chief Justice of the High Court of Madhya Pradesh, My Lord Shri Justice Anand Pathak, Honorable Judge, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, respected Rajesh Rajora, Additional Chief Secretary, Home Department, Government of Madhya Pradesh, respected Ms. Margaret Gwada, Chief of Field Office, UNICEF, Bhopal, Honorable Judges of the High Court of Madhya Pradesh, Chairman, State Commission for Child Rights, Shri Ramkumar Chaube, Registrar General, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, Shri Rajiv Karmahe, Member Secretary, MP Salsa, Shri Alok Avasthi, Principal District and Session Judge, Jabalpur, Commissioner, Jabalpur Division, Inspector General of Police, Jabalpur, and Deputy Inspector General of Police, Jabalpur, Officers of Registry, Madhya Pradesh State Judicial Academy, Madhya Pradesh State Legal Services Authority, and District Court, Jabalpur, Collector, Superintendent of Police, Jabalpur, and officers of various stakeholder departments of the Government of Madhya Pradesh, heads and representatives of stakeholder departments of the Government of MP, distinguished guests, esteemed participants, members of the print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen present in the auditorium and the audience attending virtually, a warm and graceful morning to everyone. Today in this state consultation on CICL, that is Child in Conflict with Law, I feel honored and privileged to tender a vote of thanks to all the dignitaries who have made it convenient to attend this inaugural session. On behalf of the Juvenile Justice Committee, I convey deep regards and hearty thanks to our Chief Guest, my Lord Shri Justice Ravi Malimath, Chief Justice, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, for accepting our invitation. His Lordship has been extremely generous in providing motivational support and valuable guidance, which has helped us in shaping this consultation. We are also highly grateful to His Lordship's enlightening and thought-provoking address, as this will surely encourage us in our following sessions. Thank you, my Lord. We are also thankful to my Lord Honorable Shri Justice Shil Nagu, Administrative Judge, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, and Executive Chairman MP Salsa, as well as Honorable Shri Justice Sujoy Paul, Judge, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, and Chairman JJC and MPSJ, for providing all-round support and guidance on several occasions, without which successful conduction of this event would not have been possible. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to my Lord Shri Justice Anand Pathak, Honorable Judge, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, and Member, Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of Madhya Pradesh, for His Lordship's insightful address and sparing invaluable time from His Lordship's busy schedule. Thank you, my Lord. We are also thankful to the Honorable Judges of the High Court of Madhya Pradesh for sparing valuable time from their Lordship's busy schedule and gracing the occasion. I am extremely grateful to Mr. Rajesh Rajora, ACS, Home Department, and Ms. Margaret Gwada, CFO, UNICEF, for their guidance and sparing time from their busy schedule to grace the occasion. Last but not least, I thank the heads, representatives of the stakeholder departments, UNICEF, participants, and media persons present here. I also express my thanks to the organizers and officers of Registry, Madhya Pradesh State Legal Services Authority, and District Court, Jabalpur, for their presence and conscientious efforts to make this program successful. I also thank my colleagues for their wholehearted support. I am also thankful to the participants for their fullest involvement. I thank all other distinguished dignitaries whose presence has added warmth to this function. Although I cannot thank everyone by name, but I must place on record appreciation to everybody who has contributed to the success of this program. I sincerely hope that VIMARSH, as the name suggests, will be a meaningful consultation with insightful thoughts and ideas of all who are involved, and we will be able to develop a roadmap for effective implementation of the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act 2015 for better redressal of issues related with the children in conflict with law, and to vehemently confront the challenges faced by the children of our state. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. At all the stages while dealing with children, we must remember that they, being adolescent, need a little help, a little hope, and someone who believes in them. Let's not forget history will judge us by the difference we make in everyday lives of children. Heading towards the end of program, I request honorable dignitaries and respected audience to kindly rise for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
I now seek permission of Honorable Chief Guest to conclude the session. Thank you, my Lord. I declare this session concluded. We request all the participants to kindly remain seated while the honorable dignitaries proceed for the next event.